Unit 6, Integers and Rational Numbers, Lesson 3, Rational Numbers. Today we are going to show that numbers are rational and to plot those rational numbers on a number line. We have one vocabulary word, and that is for rational number. A rational number is any number that can be written as a quotient of two integers in which the denominator is not 0. So for example, I have the decimal 0 and 4/10. That can be written as a quotient of 4 over 10. Remember, the fraction bar means divide by, and quotient has to do with division. It's the answer to a division problem. 2 can be written as a quotient of two integers by putting 2 over 1. A negative 8 can be written as negative 8 over 1. A negative, again as a decimal, 0 and 38/100ths can be written as negative 38 over 100 in fraction form. We have even the mixed number 1 and 2/3, and that can be written as two integers as 5 over 3 by making it improper. Notice that these rational numbers can be in decimal form, they can be in mixed number, they can be positive, they can be negative, as long as you can write it as a quotient of two integers, which basically is writing it a numerator over a denominator, as long as that denominator is not 0. Some other rational numbers, we've talked about integers, positive and negative. They can be fractions, they can be mixed numbers, but they can also be decimals, but we have to be very specific that they can be a repeating decimal or a terminating decimal. But it cannot be a decimal that goes on and never ends or never repeats. And I'm just making this up. But for example, if we had 2.1737561 and so forth, and it keeps going. There's no repeating pattern, there's no ending to it. This is called a irrational number. Okay, so this is what we're not looking for when we're looking for decimals. We're looking for only repeating or terminating decimals to be included in the rational numbers. Again, here's some of those examples that were up in the vocabulary. These examples show how different types of rational numbers can be written as a quotient of two integers. And we're going to practice that right now. We're going to show that each number is a rational number, but writing it as the quotient of two integers. Remember, writing it as a quotient of two integers is just writing a numerator over a denominator. So if I have the value negative 40, in order to make it in fraction form, I'm going to write negative 40, and then I'm just going to put it over 1. If I have 1 and 65/100ths, this actually is in fraction form, but it's a mixed number. So what we need to do is make it improper. So remember, to make it improper is we go around the world. We're going to take our denominator times our whole number, which gives us 100, and we're going to add our numerator. So we have 165, and then we keep that denominator. So for 1 and 65/100ths in a decimal form, which is a mixed decimal, it actually is 165 over 100 as a rational number, being written as a quotient of two integers. Number 3 is 10/11ths. Well, this one is already written as a quotient of two integers, so we could leave that alone. Number 4, negative 0 and 33/100ths. Well, negative, and then just write 33/100ths as a fraction instead of a decimal. I want you to pause the video, take a minute, and complete number 5 and number 6. Remember, these may be in fraction form, but they're a mixed number, and we want only a numerator and a denominator. Next, we're going to look about plotting these rational numbers on a number line. And here in this example, they have plotted negative 1/4 and 3/4 on the number line. The denominator of negative 1/4 and 3/4 is 4. So what they've done here is they divided their number line into 4. So if you notice here, 0, and then 1, 2, 3, and then 4. 4 would be the one whole. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, going negative side. Negative 4 over 4 would be negative 1. For the positive numbers, you're going to count right from 0 and find and plot a point at 3/4. So they'll start here, and then they go 1, 2, and 3 out of the 4 would be where 3/4 is. For negative numbers, count to the left from 0 and find and plot at negative 1/4. Negative 1, and remember they're in 4 sections, so it's negative 1/4. We're going to plot these fractions here. Here we have a 5/8. The denominator is 8, so we want to divide our number line into 8s. And I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that wasn't very good. I'll try it again. Space these out a little better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm not doing any better there. 3 times a charm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and I still can't get it. All right, one last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, they're not exact that time, but at least I'm a little bit closer. I'm only going on the positive side here because this is a positive 5/8. And then what I want to do is count 5 over from that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be where 5/8 sits on our number line. Let's try here on number 8, where we have a negative 3/7. A negative 3/7, our denominator is 7. It's on the negative side, so we're going to divide into 7s. Let's see if I do this any better here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A little bit better. We want negative 3, so we're going to go to the left. 1, 2, 3. Then this is where our negative 3/7 would sit. We can even plot decimals. If I'm reading this is a negative 5/10. Okay, it's just in decimal form, so that means we want 10 through here. Which direction? This is a negative, so we're going to go to the left. 5/10 is actually simplifies to 1/2. So a negative 5/10 is really at half. If I wanted to do this, I could divide it in halves. Okay, so 1, 2, so there's my halves. Right here is where negative 5/10 would sit. And that helps me if it can simplify. Now here we have a negative 38, or excuse me, positive 38/100. Okay, I'm going to leave it at decimal form right now. I'm going to kind of use estimation because I am not going to count out 100 little marks here and then count out 38. I know that 38/100 is close to 0 and 4/10. So I could count out 10 marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then go over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But my original was just less than 4. So then I'm going to come back just a little less than 4. And then this is where I'd mark my 0 and 38/100. I did not leave any for you to practice at this time. But if you have any questions about this, please review. And that will be the end of introduction of rational numbers.